This is going to be a fun one. An unearthed interview of Barbara Walters from 1990, where she pummeled him and exposed him on television, has gone viral. And to me, it is a stark contrast between what we're seeing with journalism today versus what it used to be back then, which was really calling people out, truth to power, and not letting lies go past you. It really does seem like another era from back then. And there are other clips that have been going viral too of Trump officials who are caught up in things that they said just a few years ago. Here is Marco Rubio saying in 2025 what he would not talk about in 2017.
Vladimir Putin, is he a war criminal?
Is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
I think you can look at instances that have happened there and certainly characterize them as war crimes, but our intent is to end the war.
Is he a war criminal?
We can't end the war without talking to Mr. Putin.
That's pretty simple. Is he a war criminal?
Well, that's
this man we're negotiating with, Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal? That's not tough.
I would not use that term.
Based on all this information and what's publicly in the record about what's happened in Aleppo and the Russian military, you are still not prepared to say that Vladimir Putin and his military have violated the rules of war and have conducted war crimes in Aleppo.
I'm trying to answer your question by telling you that we're trying to end the war here.
Go ahead.
No, it's not a simple answer.
You are equivocating, sir. Just answer the question.
I'm answering your question, and the answer is that war crimes have been committed, no doubt. And who's responsible for that? There will be time and place for that accountability. But right now, the job is to end the war.
So you won't answer the question.
There's so much information out there. It should not be hard to say that Vladimir Putin's military has conducted war crimes in Aleppo. I find it discouraging, your inability to cite that, which I think is globally accepted.
Nuts, right? So there's Marco Rubio arguing with himself, and this is what happens with people who get close to Trump, is they have to give up the things they actually believe and know in order to get power. And it's unfortunate to see. And Marco Rubio is not a psychic, but I would wager that he looks back on this clip and thinks, wow, I got that one right. Because here he is saying in 2016 what would happen if Republicans supported Trump.
You compared Donald Trump to a third world dictator yesterday in an interview with the New York Times. How so?
Well, I don't know about a dictator. I said a third world strongman. He's running for president, so no matter what, he won't be a dictator unless our republic completely crumbles, which I don't anticipate it will. But yeah, here's what happens in many countries around the world. You have a leader that emerges and basically says, don't put your faith in yourselves, don't put your faith in society, put your faith in me. I'm a strong leader, and I'm going to make things better all by myself. This is very typical. You see it in the third world. You see it a lot in Latin America for decades. It's basically the argument he's making that he single-handedly is going to turn the country around. We've never been that kind of country. We have a president. The president is an American citizen who serves for a period of time, constrained by the constitutions and the powers vested in that office. The president works for the people, not the people for the president. And if you listen to the way he describes himself and what he's going to do, he's going to single-handedly do this and do that without regard for whether it's legal or not. Look, I think people are going to have to make up their mind. I can tell you this, no matter what happens in this election, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media, and voters at large that are going to be having to explain and justify how they fell into this trap of supporting Donald Trump, because this is not going to end well one way or the other.
You compare.
Well, he's right about that. It's not going to end well one way or another. And I just want to point out, too, that he really did define exactly who Donald Trump is. And also, I love that he said that the president is constrained by the Constitution. I guess not anymore, it would seem. That seems to be a thing that only works if we all believe it works. But Donald Trump is proving that the Constitution is truly just a piece of paper that we all agree is important. And here is this unearthed clip from 1990 where Barbara Walters calls out Donald Trump to his face. And I'm telling you, you're going to love this.
$3 billion. 12-year-old son, Donna, you haven't talked to him since May. Do you believe in fidelity in marriage?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book?
A friend of mine sent me a book. A man who I think is Jewish, although I don't know.
Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the banks.
Well, you don't have to say on the
skating on thin ice and almost drowning. That's a businessman to be admired.
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are saying.
I talk to your bankers.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean, you know, depending on which banker you're talking to, what do they say? I'm the only one people write about. I mean, they don't write about other people.
You have a little more debt than most people. Just something like $3 billion in debt.
I also have a little more assets than most people.
Okay. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said.
Oh, man, we really just don't have them like we used to. And I love that Donald Trump was like, well, I don't know. It depends what bankers you're talking to. And she goes, I've talked to your bankers. That is a boss move. It's a boss move. I miss Barbara Walters. I miss her. And I want to point out, too, that this interview, I mean, you couldn't even just see how different he is from then. But what is so striking to me is not only how journalism has completely changed in the past 10 years, in the past 30 years. Oh my God, in the past 30 years. 1990 was 30 years ago, 35 years ago. How much that has changed, but also how much he has changed. Because whether you liked what he was saying or not, he was definitely very sharp, quick-witted, responding quickly, listening, saying things coherently. Let's compare that to this interview that came out just 10 days ago.
On mobile.
But you're the president. Can't you find out?
No, I know. I'm relying on my people to tell me what it is. You know, we have deep-seated craziness in this country, and I'm relying on my people, and so far they're good, but so far and in this case it's Secret Service, they tell me it's fine. But it's a little hard to believe, to be honest with you, okay? It's a little bit hard to believe as I get that throbbing feeling.
Yeah.
I get a little throbbing feeling.
Well, if you find out, we'd love to know. We continue to ask.
I know. No, I
and
understand.
a lot of people ask us.
It's a little bit strange. We have incredible people in there now, so can't blame on mobile.
Yeah, completely incoherent. And also, he is just so orange. He is so orange. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Journalism. Let's go back to the era of when we actually used to, I don't know, check people on their lies and do our due diligence before doing interviews. Sounds like it would be good for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.